Gosh, when I was growing up, many, many years ago, they would put Bollywood films on a Sunday morning. And so I grew up and I would get up before anybody else in the house got up and help myself to a big serving of Bollywood on a Sunday.
I didn't grow up with the tradition of watching Bollywood, unfortunately, but I would love to explore it more. And if you've got any recommendations, Rani, please send them my way and I will go off and have an answer for you next time.
Done with a film called The Lunchbox, which has Irfan Khan.
Oh, I think is that Ritesh Batra directed it?
Yes.
Oh, see, it just came to me that I'm. Yes, that was brilliant.
People would very easily believe that you're this very innocent person, even as an actor, even for the character that you're playing.
You could be right. What am I going to? I mean, as a human being, I would like to think that I'm a decent human. I think we can all hope for that. Whether I give off that
you are
quality, who knows? But thank you.
You're much more worldly, aren't you, than Ned?
Mentioned the scene of your interaction at the beach with the kids. You definitely have a very maternal side to you, I must say.
Yeah, that's one of the great things I think about this character is that she's probably the least maternal person in the world. But the show is based on, at the heart of it, her relationship with her son, which is always going to be really interesting.
Hello everybody, I'm Rudrani and welcome to Zoom Speak Easy. My guests are so talented. They're taking our time all the way from UK to chat with me, and this is so exciting because we have something very, very thrilling to discuss. Of course, thank you for doing this. Welcome to Zoom and welcome to India.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
But like I said, this is so exciting. I think the trailer and whatever little I've seen, it's just the chemistry between both of your characters is so good. And I think that is also kind of like the base of a lot of scenes and that you see. So I'll start with you, Freddie. It's been a while saying goodbye to your very famous good doctor. Moving on, and for a role that you were loved so much by. And then, and I'm expecting actors get stereotyped very easily as well when you get good at something. You took that plunge and then you always said that you wanted to do something exciting. And it has led to this, which I think is fantastic. Is this the journey that you wanted to always take? Saying goodbye to things that have worked for you and then moving on to something that is crazy, new.
Yeah, I think that's a good way of phrasing it is, you always want to do something different generally. And I feel you never want to just repeat the same things that you have done before. Finding new roles, finding new challenges and sort of different tones to explore. And I think what stood out for me about this was, the writing was so brilliant. It was, of course, there's the kind of high stakes and the twists and the turns, but underneath the sort of thriller engine is just this very nuanced, interesting story between a mother and a son. And I think it's also done with a great dose of sort of humor and dark humor, understated sort of British humor, and that was a part of why I wanted to do this, along with, of course, getting to work with Keeley, who I had admired for so long, and yeah, it was a joy.
I'm sure. And Keeley, he said dark humor. Let's mention the scene of your interaction at the beach with the kids. You definitely have a very maternal side to you, I must say.
Yeah, that's one of the great things I think about this character is that she's probably the least maternal person in the world. But the show is based on, at the heart of it, her relationship with her son, which is always going to be really interesting to watch how that plays out. And they're such great characters, both of them. They're very, very similar. Much more similar than either of them would care to admit, which is probably why they spend a lot of time butting heads. I enjoyed every minute of working with Freddie, people have talked about the chemistry that we have on screen, but and how did we create that? But in this instance, it really, there was nothing forced. There was nothing to work on. We just met and we got on. We got on from the very first second. So it was a very happy experience.
I'm sure it was. Keeley, I love that the character is so unhinged. And also, because women are usually given sometimes, not always, sometimes given such sanitized characters.
Exactly.
And play by the book all the time. And, men get this very diverse range of characters where they can go crazy and they can be as dark as they want to. And I think it's also society's way of looking at women and especially mothers, the judgment that you get from that. I feel like her unhinged nature is kind of liberating, isn't it?
It's totally liberating. It's really great fun to play all of that, really to play against type. The last time I was in working in Greece, I was lucky enough to be there on a show called The Durrells for 4 years on Corfu, and playing a very different type of mother. Someone who is maternal down to their very bones, whereas Julie is the opposite of that, and doesn't have a maternal bone in her body. Not really. She loves Edward, but she's not a natural mother. I wouldn't say, but she would go to the ends of the earth for him, as we see in the show. She couldn't love him more, but it doesn't come naturally to her.
Fair enough. Freddie, I think you have this natural ability to bring out the innocence of characters so naturally, almost very believable. I think it's very difficult to even do that. Tell me how you look at this. Of course, that you saw that a little bit in Good Doctor. You obviously see here as well. You see that very good way of looking at things.
Yeah, I think Edward's an interesting character from that perspective, because at the beginning we know the huge secret that Julie has kept from Edward. That becomes clear early on. And of course, there is more depth to that and more to unravel over the course of the show. But we can imagine from the start that the difficulties that her being an assassin and raising a son would have brought, and the difficulties that might have created in Edward. But I think from Edward's point of view, he has a lot of his own secrets too. And he has made a lot of bad decisions. And I think over the course of the series, it's interesting to sort of realize that he is hiding a lot from his mother too, and has hidden a lot and has done things that he now regrets or would have done differently, and has dug himself into holes. And I think he didn't do that, as you're saying. I don't think he is a bad person. I don't think he did that willingly. But I think just like any of us, he sort of got himself into a sticky situation and then just kept on making it worse. So yeah, I think hopefully we root for him and we root for Julie, and despite and maybe because of their negative things, their negative attributes.
But you would agree, right? Like, people would very easily believe that you're this very innocent person in the room. Yeah, even as an actor, even for the character like you're playing.
You could be right. I mean, what am I going to? I mean, as a human being, I would like to think that I'm a decent human. I think we can all hope for that. Whether I give off that
you are
quality, who knows? But thank you.
You're much more worldly, aren't you, than Ed?
Just quickly, I'd like to ask both of you the same question. I want to know, which of the characters in your career have you think was the most challenging, and you took a bit of it with you back home when you went? Kind of, you didn't get out of character. Has any character ever been like that for you? And if you could give me a reason why you chose those. Shall we go with Keeley and then coming to Freddie?
Gosh, that's a good question. I think probably playing Mrs. Darrell in The Darrells is the closest to me that I've ever played. But I think you also there's a bit of you in all the characters that you play, and I feel very fond of everyone I've played, really, even the less sympathetic characters. Generally, you have to find some empathy with anyone. If you're playing an assassin who goes around murdering people, or whoever it is, you have to have an understanding as to why they're doing what they're doing. So yes, I'm sorry, I don't think I've answered that question particularly well, but yeah, you tend to take a little bit of all of them with you.
Fair enough. What about you, Freddie?
I don't think. I'm not sure if
it
Edward
doesn't necessarily have to be you. It can be any character that you felt has been very challenging and you've carried a path.
If I'm being honest, I feel like I just sort of leave the characters on set. I'm not the sort of actor, and I don't think either Keeley is either. We don't like go home and be like, oh my gosh, like I just have, the sort of weight of it. Even with sort of darker roles, I just don't think that's been the case. In a way, it's almost quite cathartic to get some crying out or some anger out during the day, and then you go home and you kind of leave it all there.
It's especially important to leave the darker ones, I think, on set.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I think it's there is something though in just working on this show where there is humor to it, and I think it takes the edge off the kind of darkness and the violence that is in the show, but I don't think you leave feeling depressed. And being on set, it never felt that way either. It was just a really fun, creative environment to be in, and you kind of enjoyed being on set every day. And definitely there are darker roles that I've done are in some ways maybe a little less fun to be on set doing, because you have to channel more of that. Whereas on this, we just got to be, got to find the humor.
Sure, fair enough. I'd just like to end it by asking if you've seen any Indian films and any Indian actors that you particularly like.
Gosh, when I was growing up, many years ago, they would put Bollywood films on a Sunday morning. When we only had 4 channels here. We just about had 4. We had 3 for a while, but I think it was on Channel 4. And so Sunday mornings, very early, they would play sort of 3 Bollywood films, one after the other. And so I grew up, and I would get up before anybody else in the house got up, and help myself to a big serving of Bollywood on a Sunday, which I loved. I don't know quite. It was quite unusual, I suppose, at the time, and pre-internet, so there wasn't a huge awareness, where I was of Bollywood. But I loved it. It was another world, and so yeah, no one in particular, but just generally, I loved it. So.
Keeley, I mean, that is a great answer. I just don't think I'm going to be able to top that. I didn't grow up with the tradition of watching Bollywood, unfortunately, but I would love to explore it more. And if you've got any recommendations, Rani, please send them my way, and I will go off and have an answer for you next time.
Done with this film called The Lunchbox, which has Irfan Khan.
Oh, I think is that Ritesh Batra directed it?
Yes.
Oh. See, I have it just came to me that I'm yes, that was brilliant. Yeah,
I'm glad you did. All right, next time I'll send you guys a list anyway through my rep out. But thank you. Like I said, I'm looking forward to watching so much more. Thank you for taking all the time to chat with us, and all the best.
Thank you very much indeed.
Bye.
Lovely to meet you. Bye.